How much does it cost to refinance? What fees should you expect to pay when refinancing? Well, that's what we're going to discuss today. In today's video, we're going to take a look at my closing statement from my personal refinance back in August. We're going to go over each line and break down what those fees are and what they mean. But before we dive into it, I want to take a minute and introduce myself. My name is Jeb Smith. I'm a real estate broker here in Southern California. My channel is all about real estate, helping buyers, helping sellers navigate that home buying, home selling process. So do me a favor, if you like content like this, hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you like the information provided in the video. And as always, I encourage you to leave me a comment if you have questions about the content in the video. I always go back and address those. But for now, let's take a minute and dive into it. All right, so let's pull up that closing statement that I mentioned. Today's video is about the cost of refinancing. So we're going to go over each one of these lines, tell you exactly what it means, and help you understand the process of refinancing, what you can expect to pay, so on and so forth. So let's pull up that closing statement as I mentioned here. So, it starts with the payoff. So I had a loan with Mr. Cooper. As you can see from this, I actually owed $458,730. That's what showed up on my mortgage statement each month. And one thing you have to understand here is that when paying your mortgage, your payoff on your mortgage is always going to be higher than what shows on your mortgage statement each month. It's because you pay your interest on your loan in arrears. What does that mean? That means that now is the month of October. So you make your mortgage payment in October, you're actually paying the interest from September. That's why when you close on a loan, you actually are able to skip a month. So if you close your loan in October, then your first payment's not going to be due till December. You're actually going to skip November. And that's because when you make your payment in December, you're actually paying that interest from November. So that's why your loan balance is always going to be higher than what your mortgage statement shows. And that's because you're paying that interest in arrears. So, while my mortgage statement showed that I owed $458,730, my payoff was actually $461,169, and that's because they added a delivery fee, a recon fee, a statement fee, a recording fee, and then there you see the interest due, $25.61. Now, these fees aren't negotiable, so you're going to have to pay them in order to refinance. Your lender is going to charge you these miscellaneous junk fees, just part of the process, unfortunately, so not negotiable. But my total payoff was $461.69. Now, my new loan amount was $510,400. Why is it way higher? Because I decided to pull cash out. As I mentioned in the video that I'll link to above here, and why I decided to refinance, I actually went from an interest rate in the fours, 4.125, down to a rate of 2.99. I was able to save $100 per month or so on my mortgage payment. I was able to pull cash out, and I was able to lower the term on my loan. So my loan term went from 26 years to 25 years in this. Now, I paid a little bit of cost, as you'll see, in doing this, which we'll go over in a minute. My loan amount's $510,400. The origination fee. So I actually paid $2,000 to my lender upfront in order to do the loan. In addition to that, I paid a $36 credit report fee. $36.50 was the credit report fee that I paid. Now, the lender credit, that $5,639 was a broker credit my lender was getting in order to do my loan. They credited that back to me and charged an origination fee up front. I was able to get a lower rate because of that. And this worked out better for me. And so I paid points up front. I paid $2,000 up front, $36.50 for a credit report, as I mentioned, and I got a $5,600 credit from my lender. So, it actually ended up costing me nothing to do my loan with my lender because of that credit. Now, $919 prepaid interest. I closed my loan on the 10th. That prepaid interest is from the 10th to the 1st. So whenever you close your loan in that month, you have to pay the interest through the end of the month. You skip the following month, and then your mortgage payment is due that next month. So in this case, my loan closed in August, and I skipped September's payment. My first payment was due in October. So that prepaid interest was $1,919 or $919 rather. Homeowner's insurance. I impound my taxes and insurance, which means I include them every month in my mortgage payment. For me, it's easier to deal with that versus paying it twice a year or what have you. And so, I had to pay 11 months of my homeowner's insurance, which equaled $967. And then I had to pay 7 months of impounds. Because I closed in August, they collected 7 months. Depending on what time you close in the year or what month you close will depend on how many months of impounds you have to impound. When I closed was almost the highest time of the year. So I had to pay nearly 7 months of impounds. But because I impounded my loan with my previous lender, I actually received those impounds back after I closed my loan. So this $3,700 was pretty much a wash because I received a check back from my previous lender, Mr. Cooper, in close to the same amount. And then I got an aggregate adjustment from the lender because they couldn't impound the full 3726 because the software wouldn't let them. It was too much money to throw into my impound account. So I actually got an adjustment. And then you go on and you pay title and escrow fees. Every single loan you do, you're going to pay title and escrow fees. My particular lender has negotiated these fees up front, so they might be lower than what you see out there, but I paid $550 to the title company in California. We have title, and this assures the lender that my title is clear and, all of that good stuff. So I paid $550 for title. I also paid a $15 recording fee, $450 for a closing fee to escrow. That's an escrow fee, and $175 to a notary. So, and then in addition, I paid $22 for recording the deed and $76 fee for the mortgage. So I ended up paying out of pocket somewhere around $3,500 or so in between title, escrow, and origination charges. But you understand that I got a credit back for $5,600. So I really ended up paying nothing out of pocket. But I did have to pay, my interest that I was due and my impounds, but I would have had to pay those regardless. I just, I'm paying them up front in this case. So that's why it worked for me. And then at the end, you can see, I ended up getting $46,000 back plus that impound account that I mentioned earlier. So these are what you're going to see on every single transaction. Now, you might see lenders charging processing fees. You might see them charging a bunch of junk fees. My lender didn't charge that. So make sure when you're you're having that conversation with your lender, you understand what you're paying up front. You should get an estimate really that looks very similar to the one that I just showed you before making any decisions, so that you have an idea of what it's going to cost you, how much money you're going to get back at the end, what it's going to save you, your loan terms, all of that stuff. So I hope that was helpful. If you have additional questions, do me a favor, comment below. I'll answer them the best I can. So there you have it, my personal closing statement from my refinance back in August. Now, as I mentioned, I did a video a couple of months ago where I talked about why I decided to refinance. If you want more information on that, I'll link to that right here where you can watch it. You can go over where I chose between two different options and why I chose the option that I did. But that should be helpful when deciding what to do, what fees should be charged, should not be charged, and help you negotiate if you're deciding to refinance. Now, if you need a good lender and you don't have one, reach out to me directly. I'll use my network and find you somebody that you can work with and help guide you through that process. But if you have questions, do me a favor, comment below. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I appreciate your support. We'll see you again soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.